Hello friends and welcome back to another video. As you guys know that in the previous video I have shown you how to add score in your game. So in this video I am going to show you how to make a game over scene in your game using Unity. So you guys can see here I have created timer in my game. So when I will run the game it will start counting down. So let's open the timer script and here you guys can see the code. In it, I have added an additional function which is public void game over. But it will not run as I haven't written anything in it. So run the game and here you guys can see at the right side there is a timer and at the left side there is score. When I will complete the score of 14, when all the balls will be destroyed, we will win. And here you guys can see you won is written instead of score. You guys can also change the starting time of the timer. Firstly, we have to go to timer script and here you guys can see I have written float starting time is equal to 120f. Instead of that, I can write it public float starting time and we can adjust it in Unity. Save the script and head back to Unity. After that, you have to go to timer and here you guys can see an additional portion has appeared which says starting time and I can set it to anything I want. For now I will set it to 60. So now if I start the game, you guys can see here that the starting time of the timer is 60. Now let's add text and I will change it to you lose or game over. Now here I want to add game over text, score text and restart button. And for that I will resize them and change their positions. Now here you guys can see game over text, score text and restart button are created successfully. So in the timer script in game over method, I will write some code. But first of all, I have to make some game objects. And for that, let's move ahead. I will write here public game object and I will name it anything I want, like game over text and score text and the restart button. Put a semicolon and down here in the game over method you have to write some code. And here you have to write game over text dot set active in the empty parenthesis true. That means when the game will be over, game over text will appear. So I will copy this line and I will paste it 3 times as we have 3 game objects. Now I have to change the names of the game objects. One is game over text and the next is score text and the third is restart button. Now these all should appear when the game will end. So this is the game over method, but this is the code for 3 game objects. You can add as many as you want. Like here I want to add some more game objects like timer and original score text. Now I will change the code according to that. I will add some more lines of code like timer.setActive will be false and original text.setActive will also be false. Now save this script and head back to Unity. Now you guys can see here in timer that more portions are appeared. Now we have to assign the game objects as we have named them in the script. We have to add another line in order to make it work. We have to write here using Unity Engine .scene management. Now you guys can see here that the game over method is created. That means when the game will over, this will run. But what will happen when the game will start? So for that, let's add some more code in the start method. I will copy the exact same lines from the GameOver method and I will paste it in the start method. But the values that we have written in the empty parentheses, which is true or false, I will change them. For example, In the GameOver method, I have written timer.setActive in the empty parenthesis false. But in the start method, I will write timer.setActive in the empty parenthesis it is true. Now if I run the game, you guys can see here that I have only the score text and the timer text. But when the game overs, you guys can see here game over text appears, the score appears and restart button appears. That means our code is working perfectly. So now it's time to add some function in our restart button to make it work. So let's create a new script. I will name it restart B. Now here you have to write using Unity engine dot scene management. As we are dealing with scene management, so we have to write using Unity engine dot scene management. Now I will make a new method which will be void restart Now here I will write scene manager dot load scene in the empty parentheses in double quotation marks the name of the scene that you want to load. In my case it is game, so I will write here game and you have to put a semicolon, save the script and head back to Unity. Here you have to add the script in the restart button. And in the on click section you have to add a new section. You have to drag and drop the restart button here and in the no function you have to find the function that you have just created. I cannot find it because I have to do some changes in my code. So head back to the code and instead of void restart you have to write public void restart so that it will be publicly visible. And now you have to go to no function and you have to find the function that you have just created. So now if I run the game, but before that let me just shorten the time length of the timer because I have to wait a long time for the game to be over. I will set it to 10. And now if I run the game, you guys can see here that when the game is over, you guys can see that the game is over. And now if I press the restart button, the game will start again. You guys can see here that the game has started again. But you guys can also see here that the score has not been reset to 0. And for that you have to just add a simple line in your start method which is score value is equal to 0 and a semicolon. So that's it for today guys. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you again in the next video.